Hi y'all, we're back. CM Punk shirt today. I realized that I'm like a week behind on my stuff, almost 2 weeks actually. Um, I had some health issues going on, had to go to the ER, got busy with work. I'm fine, do not worry. Um, but yeah, I am finally making my video. I think waiting a week or two is actually a lot smarter because then more people have had time to watch it and then I can talk about it and people, if they haven't watched it, can watch it. And yeah, anyways, so what is today's video? Today's video is Raw 223, SmackDown 227, and Elimination Chamber. Pause. Anyways, hi. Um, so we are. Wait, let me mute my phone so it doesn't like go off mid video. So let's start with Raw 2023. Now, or Raw 2023. Raw 223. Dear God, if it was 2023. Um, this was the tribute to AJ Styles one, which was amazing. So let's get started. Um, we found out. Actually, let's start off. I believe they started off with the men's elimination chamber match. Pretty sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So they started the men's elimination chamber was the first match they did. But what did they do first? Hmm. Y'all, it's been a minute since these episodes and the elimination chamber, so you're gonna have to work with me. So they started off, they're in the middle of the ring, the announcers, Michael Cole and oh my god, what's the other dude's name? I fear I'm always blanking on this guy's name. Hold on, I wonder if I can look it up. That is an ugly angle. Let me move this back actually. Monday night. Oh, Corey Graves. Oh my god, that's his name. I was gonna say it was Corey, but I couldn't remember. Um. Anyway, so it was Michael Cole and Corey Graves. They started out in the ring. You know, they're getting us hyped about the tribute to AJ Styles, and I remember I was like, okay, if Gunther comes out, I'm actually gonna lose it. Who comes out? Gunther, and I fucking called it. Um, and he's saying how disgraceful it is for a celebration for losers, and I said, fuck off. Because shut the fuck up. How about that? Shut the fuck up. Um, and then so I don't think it clicked in my mind that a lot of different people from different brands and shows were going to be on there because I believe some of the guys from like the TNA era were there. Um, like WWE, of course, SmackDown and Raw people were there. It was Raw, so of course the Raw people were there, but people from SmackDown were there. Okay. But he's basically like, "Oh, it's disgraceful to have a celebration for losers." Gunther, shut up. How about that? How about that? Can you I don't know, shut up. And then Dragon Lee came out, which I was really excited. And then Adam Cole was like not letting him or not Adam Cole, Michael Cole. Adam Pierce. I can't speak. Adam Pierce was not letting him hit him. And I was like, just let him hit him. Just let him hit him. I mean, I think he started hitting him, and then Adam Pierce was like, nope. But then he kept hitting him. And then I was like, he's making sure Gunther leaves. And then Cody was there. I didn't realize Cody was going to be there, but apparently he's billed out of Atlanta, which I did not know. I had to Google it because I wasn't sure why Cody was there at first. And then I was like, it then clicked later in the show. Oh, they're all there basically. Um, and you know, let me pull up the Cody Rhodes thing. Oh, I kept going, I'm so shocked. Like, what the fuck? Um, and you know how Cody goes, he'll say the place and the name and go, "What do you want to talk about?" Which was my favorite thing in Hershey, but anyways. Um, but he goes, "I know what you want to talk about." Um, and I loved it. And then the vision came out and I was like, "Can the vision like not? Can the vision just go away?" Um, apparently I learned Austin Theory is from Atlanta. Didn't know that. Um, I said, Logan Paul, shut the fuck up. Um, and then something happened, and Cody basically was like, "You thought." I don't know if that was like something he actually said or if that was just a facial expression, but I did say Cody said, "You thought." Cody then introduced Jay, which I love because he was basically like the Vision was talking. I think it was about they they were saying how Bronson Reed, who was in the Elimination Chamber, was it Bronson? Why can't I find this? Yeah, Bronson Reed was in gonna be in the Elimination Chamber qualifying, and so Cody introduced Jay, and he goes, "I think there's someone who disagrees that you're gonna win Elimination Chamber," and then Jimmy and Jay show up, and that's when I figured out they were doing the men's Elimination Chamber match first, which I was really shocked by, because they had been doing that as the main event, which I'm glad they finally changed it that it wasn't the main event. I know their big thing was the tribute to AJ Styles. Um, but I loved seeing him in the ring with the Usos. I love it. Um, but yeah, I was like, I need either the original El Grande Americano or Jay to win. And it was so funny because uh, Jay and the original El Grande Americano were teaming to get Bronson Reed. And at one point, Jay looks over at him and goes, "Oh," or was that no, it wasn't Jay. Was it El Grande, the original El Grande Americano said Oos? One of them said Oos, and it might have been the original El Grande Americano. Now that I think about it, and they started teaming. Yeah, that's what it is. It was a smart move. And then they went to ads, and they came back, and they're like Bronson Reed. They showed what happened during the break, and they're like Bronson Reed looked like he injured his bicep during commercial break. Um, arm or bicep. The doctor was looking at him. And then Jay ended up winning the match. I remember seeing on social media and a lot of other places that apparently Bronson Reed was supposed to qualify for the Elimination Chamber, but because he got injured, they had to last minute. Honestly, I think with the last minute injury and everything, they chose Jay to win because Jay is a popular one. And I don't know too much about the original Grande Americano. So yes. And then later they said Bronson Reed was out indefinitely with a bicep. I forget what it was, but it was a bicep injury. And I did see in a later post from him on social media that he did get surgery for it. I also saw somewhere that athletes in general with that type of injury are out 4 to 6 months. So we'll see how long he's out for. Um, but the men's elimination chamber ended up being Randy Orton, LA Knight, Cody Rhodes, Javon Evans, Trick Williams, and Jey Uso. I I have a face. If you watched, you know what I'm gonna be talking about, but we will talk about that when we get to SmackDown. And then we have, let's go in order. Liv Morgan picked who she's facing at WrestleMania on the show. Um, she did look really pissed. I said it's gonna be Stephanie, and I'm gonna be so fucking shocked if it's Jade. Um, Jade was there because is she? Y'all were googling everything today. I thought she said that was like where she's from. Hmm. Hmm. I don't. I'm confused. Why she said she was gonna be there. She was there at the end. I we were pretty sure she was there, um, because oh my god, can I like there? She was there also because of the tribute. But at the end of the day, she was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be there." Whatever. Um, and Dominic was there, and he's like, "Can the champions come out?" And Stephanie back here, and he's rolling his eyes. I loved Stephanie's outfit; it was so cute. He was so over it, and then he called out Jade, which I feel like I think he butchered Jade's name, but I think they brought it up. It was kind of crazy. Um, Jade is kind of hot. I'm not gonna lie. I do wish she would have defended her title more. I really wish she would defend her title more. How long has she been champion? Because this is actually a lot of people were talking about this, and I even we're not going to talk about that. I see that. I see that picture. I'm not going to talk about it. It hasn't happened yet. Not in the thing. Not in my video. 127 days, and I think somebody said she's only had one title defense. Listen, somebody in the comments of that video said she's making Roman's title defense during the pandemic look better, and I was like, anyways, let's continue. Um, I was like, Liv is definitely not herself, but whatever, because I again don't really like her character, but like, go off. Um, I was like, she still seems so weird. Like, I'm scared of this. And I was like, oh, there she is. And she just goes off on Stephanie about what Stephanie had said like the previous week or something, where she was like, oh, it was, that whole thing where they had to translate because nobody knew or not nobody, but a lot of people didn't know what she said unless you spoke Spanish, which unfortunately I do not. I would love to learn. I'm just bad at learning, and I'm gonna learn. I need to. Um, but basically, they were building off of that. She turned to go talk to Jade, or like look like she's gonna talk to Jade, and she punched Stephanie, and she kept going off. And I was like, I wonder how Raquel's gonna react to that because Raquel and Stephanie were having this whole thing, and then it's just nothing. Anyways, CM Punk, uh, people were chanting his name like they do. But he's like, no, don't chant my name, chant AJ Styles, which they did. He started taunting, um, Finn, and then, um, he said, what if I punch Roman in his stupid face? And I said, we about to see AJ and Punk as champs at the same time, trust. I can't say what I want to say because I haven't got into that, but anyways, Brock Lesnar was there. Not the biggest fan of him. I just, I'm not. I'm not the biggest fan of Brock Lesnar. He's not my favorite. I said it's going in one ear out the other, trust, and then I did the emoji. He's with Paul Heyman. I love it. It's like Michael said, "I stand up and walk away," and then I looked at his age because I was curious. He's 48. Is he? Am I like? I think he is. Which like is not the oldest wrestler. Yeah, he's 48. He's not the oldest wrestler, but like still, I was like, oh, bro is 48. Uh, and Paul Heyman was talking about Taker because Brock broke his streak, all that. I was like, oh, are we gonna see Taker? I'm not there yet. Um, and then of course Paul Heyman's like, oh, who's gonna challenge Brock Lesnar for WrestleMania? None of these guys are gonna do it. None of these guys are gonna do it. It's gonna be Oba. It's gonna be Oba. And he was just rage. Paul Heyman was just rage baiting people at that point. I believe it. He was just rage baiting people. Um. Oh. Ah. And then we had the women's final Elimination Chamber qualifier. It was it the final one? Or am I dumb? I think it was the final one. Anyways, Io, Sky, Raquel Rodriguez, and Kari Singh. I wanted Io to win so bad. I loved her outfit. I wanted Io to win. Kari and Io were teaming at one point, which they both kind of looked at each other like, please save my girl Kari. For the love of God, somebody save Kari. Somebody get her to turn on Asuka. For the love of God, get her out. That is some Stockholm Syndrome type shit. Free my girl. Anyways, Raquel ended up winning. Woo. I'm not, again, not the biggest fan. So it was Tiffany Stratton, Rhea Ripley, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Kiana James, and Raquel Rodriguez. Anyways, there was a match between Maxine and Natalia, or Natty, sorry. I keep doing that. I don't mean to be mean about that. I am so used to her being Natalia from when I watched when I was a kid, so trying to get used to calling her Natty, it's going to take me a minute. Trust and believe I'm trying. It sounded like Maxine got a new intro, which I love for her. It seemed to kind of fit her. It definitely was Maxine. That was Maxine. I thought AJ Lee was gonna come help her. Um, and then like the match lasted not that long. She kind of got rammed into the post, which if you looked, it looked more like her shoulder than her face or her head. And then she's just laying on the ground, and I was like, she's faking trust, like because it just didn't look like she hit her head or anything. And I'm like, wait, is she? What is she actually injured? No, they ended it. Natalia won, or Natty. God damn it, Natty won. Anyways, Tyler Reddick. Okay, I live in a NASCAR family. I live in a sports household, so we watch NASCAR. We watch baseball. We watch football. We watch hockey. We watch it all. I think the only thing we really don't watch is the NBA, but we watch college basketball. Like we watch it all. Tyler Reddick and CM Punk. Who allowed CM Punk to go into a NASCAR car? He was loving it. You could tell he loved it. That was crazy. I was like, okay. Anyways, Rusev and Oba, they were going off. Adam Pearce basically said time and place. Like, y'all, this is not the night. Finn was in a suit. I was so like, why is he in a suit? And I was like, oh wait, now I'm talking to myself in this thing I wrote. Oh wait, because AJ Styles, you dumb fuck. So I'm like, why is he in a suit? Um, whatever, he's going off about having the match with um about having his match with CM Punk and how he's gonna win. And I'm like, he isn't winning because Punk has his WrestleMania thing with Roman. And I was like, I think AJ's gonna win against Becky. And my thought process is if AJ Lee won against Becky Lynch, then Punk was retaining against Finn. As long as Punk was retaining against Finn, I did not think that they were also going to have Becky retain. I thought, you know what? They're just going to switch it. I can't say what I'm going to say. I gotta wait. I gotta wait. Becky came out. She was shit talking AJ. I was like, AJ gonna win, trust. And then she's going, I deserve everything. I deserve this. I deserve that. And of course, I made the comment, girl, you don't deserve anything but go off. I'm not being serious, by the way. Old baby me, child Sephie, loved Becky Lynch. She was one of my favorites. I just can't stand her character right now. And then she said AJ Lee was going to be the least talented AJ to retire this year. And I was like, that's crazy. And then Javon Evans and Kofi Kingston. I believe so. Um, uh, Basically, Javon won that. Anyways, they did the tribute to AJ Styles. AJ Styles came out. I don't know if anybody else caught what I caught. That man ran into a light on his way out. My dad, I actually went out into. I was watching it in my room, which is where I'm in now. I went out to the living room and I was like turning it on for my dad to watch. My dad's a fan. Um. Anyways, I turned it on for both of us to watch, just a tribute. Um. And they do the little montage with the songs and all that. Um. And then they put on his intro song, and I was like, what is he doing here? And they had been saying it throughout the show, like, oh, AJ Styles is gonna be here, but the way they were saying it, I wasn't sure if he was actually gonna be there or not. I thought I was making it up. He was. He bumped into the he hit the light. Um Basically, he came out, he celebrated. He basically was like, yeah, the reason I didn't put my gloves in the ring in Saudi Arabia was so I could bring them home because they were in Atlanta and he's from Atlanta, or not from Atlanta, but from Georgia, outside of Atlanta. He's from Georgia, Gainesville, I believe. And so he was like, I wanted to bring them home, put them here. He did that. He took off his jacket. Um, and they put the ending stuff up on the screen, and I'm like, this is kind of weird. You would expect all of the people to come out of the locker room, and they did. A lot of people were there, a lot of SmackDown people. AJ Lee was there, even though she wasn't like on the show, she was there. Um, Bailey, you saw who all from SmackDown was there. Damian Priest was there. Um, Jade was there. Basically, a lot of people were there. A lot of people from the past. Anyways, they do all that. He basically says thank you to his wife. He's like, I'm sorry I haven't been there, but you kept pushing me to do this because you knew this is what I wanted to do, and da 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 da. Whatever. I think the show's ending. What happens? Taker's bell rings. And I was like, pause, what? A lot of people I saw, and even I thought this was at first, they were like, are they about to run it back at Mania and he's not allowed to retire? No. Taker comes out and he does this whole thing. He's like, he looks at the stuff AJ put in the ring. He looks up, he looks back down. Are you really? Is this? And AJ's like, yeah. Anyways, AJ Styles, he's like, you heard the phrase, if I'm coming, you're already gone. AJ Styles is kind of like, yeah. And he goes, well, I changed it up to, if I'm coming, you're already going. And everybody's kind of a little confused. And then Taker goes, it is my pleasure or my esteemed honor. And you see AJ Styles go, oh shit. Like he bows, oh shit. AJ Styles got inducted into the 2026 Hall of Fame. I'm so proud of him. Anyways, that tribute episode, I cried a lot. And even he looked like he was crying after he found that out. Um, but it was so cute. Anyways, moving on. Part 2, SmackDown 20. I was about to do it again. 227. I was about to say 2027. It was 2026, people. Um, so, mm, we had the men's chamber. They all came out at the beginning. However, before the show even started on social media, it was posted that a superstar had gotten attacked backstage. And then we find out that it was Jay who got attacked. And we're all like, who attacked him? And so Jay was taken out of the Elimination Chamber. He was replaced, and I will get to that at the later part of this video. But the beginning was basically the men's chamber all coming out and like going off. The pop for everybody was crazy. Each time somebody came out, the pop insane. Like everybody loved everyone there, it seemed. Javon came out. He slapped Trick Williams over. He came out after Trick started talking. You hear Javon's theme, and he just goes, and it runs to the ring. Bro is my age. I'd do that shit, dude. Trust. LA Knight came out. Uh, uh oh, the crowd's saying "whoop that trick," and LA Knight basically goes, "So, oh, you said whoop that trick," and Trick goes, "Yeah," and then LA Knight slapped him. LA Knight slapped the motherfucker. Um, like he started attacking him, and I was like, yes. That was just funny. I'm not a Trick Williams fan, but that was kind of funny for both of them. And then Randy RKO'd Javon, which I was like, leave my boy alone. Um, Stop. I just got to it. So it was Rhea and Io. Rio versus the Irresistible Forces. Is that what they're called? Lash and Naya. Anyways, I think we all know how I feel about this match. I wanted them to win. I said Rio better win or I riot. I did really like Lash's outfit. Oh, I'm not the biggest fan of Naya or Lash currently with their characters, but Lash's outfit was actually really cute. I did like it. Um, they then called the last time the two of them faced each other a double countout, which it wasn't. I was like, it was not a double countout. The ref called it, and even the commentary people brought that up too. Um, Io was going in, and then Rhea with the lucha moves was crazy to me, and I was like, come on. Um, oh, and it was, I guess Rhea and Io went to go tag. I forget who was in. They went to tag. It wasn't even a tag at that point. They were just holding hands. Um, and then Nash, Nash. Wow, I just combined their names. I did not even mean to do that. Naya and Lash won. And me, are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? What the fuck? I hate this. I hate it here. And like I said, I love Nia and Lash. Congrats to them for winning the titles. Congrats. You got it. I was like, it's stupid as fuck unless they have real winning chamber. I'll talk about that later. Um, and then Carmelo Hayes had another U.S. Open challenge. Um, and it was against Matt Cardona, which I love the friendship with um Carmelo and Ilya. I don't know if it's a friendship or what it is, but I love it. And I love Carmelo so much. Like I love Carmelo. One of my favorites. Um it actually ended up being Carmelo winning, which I love that. They ended up high-fiving um or they high-fived at the beginning, sorry. They high-fived at the beginning. It was a very interesting match. Carmelo ended up retaining, and I just love the respect that Carmelo gives to each opponent he faces, whether or like most of the opponents he faces, right? There's sort of respect, and I love that. Um, and then um, Oba and the Miz was a match that was happening, and then the Miz was like, "Do not ring that bell," and then he was just yapping, and he basically said, "Let me be your Undertaker," and I said, "Ooh, that's crazy." And then Oba ended up winning. Anyways, that was a quick match. Usually the ones with Oba are pretty quick. And then we had Uncle Howdy Bo Dallas against Solo. My grandma was actually upstairs at the time watching this with me. Um, I was like, give my man the lantern back. My grandma was actually kind of rooting for Solo. She said Uncle Howdy gives her the heebie jeebies. Oh, I love my grandma. She was not she was not the fan of Uncle Howdy. Not a big fan. Um, and actually, my friend in real life, or not in real life, but an online friend I have, um, she lives around the Orlando area. So she went to the what was it, Universal? that did horror, like haunted houses, like all that, and the Wyatt Six had one. She went to that. I was trying to convince her. I was like, "Girl, I love the Wyatt Six. Like they're so cool." And my friend's like, "I don't like them. They had a thing out for me and my dad at at the haunted house." I was like, "But they're so cool." I love them. Um. Anyways, I wanted Uncle Howdy to win. He did. Solo tried doing a Sister Abigail, which was kind of crazy. Um, but yeah, Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas won. I was like, in all caps, take the lantern and run. Bro still doesn't have the lantern. Jordan Grace versus Candice LeRae. Uh, Johnny, her husband, was there. I don't know how to say his last name. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. But he was there. Um, anyways, I'd never seen Candice's intro before, which was interesting. It's a nice intro. I've just never seen it before. I really wasn't paying attention to the mask, the match. I cannot speak tonight. God damn it. Anyways, Johnny got up. He's been doing the plank thing, like the depressed thing. He got up. He was on the announce table. He sat up, walked away, and Candace is like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like, where are you going?" She got distracted. Jordan ended up winning, which I kind of wanted her to win. Anyways, talking about Jey Uso getting attacked. Actually, Jacob Fatu went with Jay. Um, once he was like loaded up into an ambulance, which makes sense because they are cousins in real life. I saw somebody said, well, why wasn't it Solo? Because Solo's his little brother. Like in real life, like that's his brother. Wouldn't he want to go? But he had a match. And if you think about like Kafabe, is that what it's called? Whatever, like they're not. It makes sense. I get it. Some people were like, but why? And I was like, it makes sense. Um, I'm thinking Drew, but I'm also thinking it might have been one of the Vision members, and I think a lot of people were also thinking that. My grandma called Drew a coward. I forget what happened. Oh, I think it was the beginning of the show. It was after all that. Drew went out and was like saying, "Oh, I know people are thinking it's me, guilted until proven innocent." Right, 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 right. Cody came out, and that's what began the men's elimination chambers segment. But Drew's like going away, My girlfriend's like, "Coward!" I was like, "Girl, I love you." And then Sami Zayn was accusing Jacob Fatu of attacking Jay, which is crazy if that's true. Tiffany did a backstage segment. Asuka came over, and Kathy Kelly said, no, bye," when Asuka came over. Paul Heyman was there with the Vision, what's left of the Vision, and by what's left, I mean Logan Paul and Austin Theory. What a great duo. Whatever. Um, bro, I hate Logan so much. Anyways, uh, and then I said, wait, did one of the members of the Vision attack Jay? And then I was like, Logan, shut the fuck up. And then they announced Logan and Jacob Fatu were having a match for a qualifying for Elimination Chamber to fill the last spot, right? Tiffany, after Tiffany and Asuka were going back and forth, it was said that there was going to be a match between Tiffany and Asuka, which was kind of weird because they were both going to be in Elimination Chamber the next night. It ended up being Kairi Sane who ended up having the match with Tiffany. I was like, why is Chelsea there? Asuka basically said, I'm gonna be smart. I'm resting up for Elimination Chamber. Kairi, go. Again, save my girl. Get Kairi away from Asuka. For the love of God. That, again, is some Stockholm Syndrome type shit. Anyways, Tiffany ended up winning. Uh, Basically, Raquel had a little segment where she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna win Chamber." and Jade showed up. And then Jacob versus Logan. I didn't care. I wanted Jacob to win. Masked Man was back. Um, but whatever. Did they show? I think they showed the identity of the Masked Man, but it wasn't anyone that really people knew. Whatever. Logan Paul won. And he's like, oh, I'm gonna win the chamber. I said, you wish you're gonna win chamber. Anyways, and now we can talk about Elimination Chamber. Oh my god. I actually color coded it this time, so I do, because you see all that I typed. You see all that I typed. I had to color code, or else I was not gonna know. Okay, so we're gonna do it in order because it was pretty simple of remembering what order. So, first thing was the women's Elimination Chamber match, which was Tiffany Stratton, Rhea Ripley, Alexa Bliss, Kiana James, Asuka, and Raquel Rodriguez. It was the women's up first. I made a lot of commentary. I said, I'm so excited. Alexa went into a pod first. They said it was the fourth time in her career. She won in 2018. I thought the way they were coming out was different. I thought the first two coming out were gonna have the match, and then the other four were gonna come in. Oh, speaking of Alexa Bliss, look at my phone case. And then the other four were gonna be in the pods. No, the way it goes is the first four get into the pods, and then it's the last two in are starting the match. I believe it's every 5 minutes a new person. It's basically like a roulette who gets to go in, and every 5 minutes a new person comes in. Yeah. So Alexa was in. Asuka came out next. She won in 2023. Basically they were kind of taunting each other in the pods. Like one would come up, they kind of taunt each other. It was a whole thing. Um, Alexa was basically like, you like you don't scare me. Raquel was next. It was her third time in the chamber. I personally didn't think she was winning. Rhea was the last person in the chamber. Which kind of made sense after last night. She looked great. Also, can we talk about? So I made the comment. I was like, okay, so it's gonna be Tiffany and Kiana to start it off. What was Rhea and Alexa doing? Like, I know it was a callback to 2022 where Alexa kind of went like this on Rhea's pod at the time, and it was a whole gay moment. Like, let my lesbian ass alone for a minute. That was so fucking gay of the two of them. I know they're both married to men, and Alexa has a whole ass child. That was so fucking gay of them. Okay. Gay asses. Anyway. But basically this time, it was actually on beat too. It was on beat to Rhea's entrance, where they both kind of just at the same time of each other, and I was like, what the fuck? I was losing it. Anyways, and I was like, Alexa smirk at Rhea. It's like, okay, gay asses. Rio got in, and then she started doing pull-ups, and I was like, that's kind of crazy. Kiana came out. I loved Alexa's gear and Tiffany's gear. I loved both of them. They were so good. Like, I'm so sorry. Both of them were great. I loved both of their gears. Anyways. Also, the orange. Tiffany's was kind of like a monarch butterfly, and I love the color orange. Orange is my favorite color. It looked good. I was like, okay, 5 minutes until the next one comes out. This is my first time I was ever watching Elimination Chamber, so y'all had to work with me here. Kiana's first time, and then they were talking about how Tiffany and Kiana were both gymnasts. Anyways, Raquel was laughing at Tiffany because she what did she do? She ended up getting ran into or something Raquel's pod, and Raquel is just ha ha ha, which is real. Asuka was the first one in. Kiana rushed her in the pod. I was like, God damn. And then the next 5 minutes seemed to go by really quick. Alexa was the next person in. I was like, look at the face of Alexa. I kind of wanted her or Rhea to win. Um, and then, they're fighting, and I said, "Oh, I heard that back elbow." I was like, "Ow!" And then Rhea was next. Rhea and Alexa, I love them. I was like, "Where did Alexa go?" She was on top of the pod. She just dived, or did she do the what is it? The twisted bliss off of it? Is that the wrong one? She was doing one of them. And then she went to do Sister Abigail to who was it? She was about to do Sister Abigail to one of them, and I can't remember who it was. Anyways, Raquel ended up coming out at one point after Alexa came out. Or got out. Alexa was the first one out. Asuka misted her. I thought at first it was Asuka who eliminated her. I then found out it was Kiana. Raquel then eliminated both Kiana and Asuka at once. That was crazy. So then it was Tiffany, Rhea, and Raquel, the last three. I said I was thinking Tiffany or Rhea at this point. I was like, what the fuck? She I believe it was Asuka. Rhea got like stuck on the cage. And she's just dangling there. I think Asuka put her feet in. Anyways, she was stuck there for a minute. And then Rhea ended up on top of the pod and dived. And I was like, okay. Uh who got Asuka out? I didn't write it down. Who or not Asuka? Who got Raquel out? I think it might have been Tiffany. It was either Tiffany or Rhea. I believe it was or sorry, no, I'm like so out of it. Raquel. I'm so out of it. Why did I think it was Asuka? Raquel put Rhea in the cage. Um anyways, and then it was Rhea versus Tiffany. Tiffany was bleeding. I think her nose might have gotten broken, I'm not sure. Rhea won, which I kind of figured after the previous night on SmackDown where Rhea and Io lost the titles, it was kind of everybody was like, okay, yeah, Rhea's winning Chamber, and she did. And now I'm fine. I'm totally fine. I was great after Rhea won. And then it was AJ Lee and Becky Lynch. Holy shit. I was like, they're next. Holy fuck. And then Becky comes out first. I was like, I don't care about Becky. Show me AJ. I was like, the crowd was kind of quiet. It was kind of quiet. I'm not even gonna lie. I think it was mostly for Becky. Yeah, for Becky it was kind of quiet, but in general, like throughout the match, there was a lot, but it just seemed quiet. Um. Oh yeah, they were quiet for Becky. That's why. The way I have notes confuses me. I just type as I watch. Um, Jessica Carr was refereeing, and I was like, oh my god, she's a refereeing. And then AJ came out. I was like, oh my god, wait, I love the fit. The boos were crazy. I think they were booing Becky. I'm not sure. Michael Cole called AJ Lee AJ Styles. Michael Cole was struggling that night. I was like, what is Becky's outfit? And then, what the fuck is Becky doing? And then, okay, AJ, the skipping. Jessica was over Becky. I wondered if anybody was going to interrupt. Maybe Maxine, maybe Natty. Basically, throughout the match, it was very interesting. Jessica Carr ended up getting, like, took a few bumps, got hit a couple times. Becky exposed one of the turnbuckles. Top turnbuckle was trying to ram AJ into it. Jessica got in the way and she's like, you are not doing this. You are not doing this. No. Anyways, I noticed that it seemed like Becky was calling during the match. It's very possible. Anyways, while Jessica was down, AJ got Becky into a Black Widow. Becky tapped, but Jessica didn't see it because she was down. And so people are, you tapped out. You tapped out. Loved it. Um, and then, yeah, a lot of things were happening. And again, like I said, Becky was trying to ram. It seemed like AJ's head into it, but AJ, or no, Jessica came over, blocked her, was like, "You're not doing this. I'm not letting you." Like, no. Well, then AJ was kind of standing there, like in the corner, right by the buckle, and Becky came to run at her to like hit her back into it. AJ moved out of the way, put her in a Black Widow. Becky tapped. AJ Lee's the women's Intercontinental Champion. I'm sorry, I don't think you guys understand the significance of this for me. When I was in 2014, when AJ Lee held the Divas title, I was 10 years old, right? I was 10 or 11 when AJ left. I never thought I'd see her again. She was one of my favorites as a kid. I was really happy anytime I saw AJ. Like, she was my favorite. Her, the Bella twins, Paige, like, they were my favorite. To see AJ come back after 10 years, her first singles match in like 11 years, and to win, 10-year-old Sephie was screaming and crying inside. I was screaming on the outside. Like, I was losing it. Um, and then, AJ holding up her title, like, I won! Yay! It was great. Um, and then we had CM Punk and Finn Balor. The intro for Punk was very interesting. It was a whole thing because they're in Chicago, the United Center. They did the whole like Michael Jordan, like, is it the Chicago Bulls? Am I stupid? I'm not an NBA watcher. Again, I apologize. Basically, um, yeah, the Ray Clay, I don't know who that is. Basically, the intro, and then he came out to his song. Then used his old intro. It was very interesting. Everybody was bleeding. Um, I was like, is Judgment Day gonna come out? Um, because Finn kept looking, and they said Dominic and JD were there, but they never came out. Again, CM Punk ended up winning, which I expected was going to be the case. And I was like, oh my god, what husband and wife title holders, hell yeah. And then AJ came out. She ran up and she's holding up her title, like, look, I did it, I did it. And they went in and they had a little moment. It was so cute, and I love them so much. And then we had the mysterious box. They opened the box, there's a coffin. Um, I was very confused who that was. I did not know who Danhausen, is that how that's said? Who he was. Later found out through my friend that he was from AEW. He's hilarious. I love that man. I was like, me and my dad, we were confused. Like, we're like, who is this? Like, we really didn't get it, and we were confused. Can I say I just love this man? I never once hated on him. I can proudly say I did not hate on this man during everybody like, okay, he's not that funny. Or it's not, what is this? I was like, oh, I don't know who this is, but good for you. I'll get to know you. He's hilarious. Very good, very evil. Or is it very nice, very evil? Did I fuck it up? Dan Hausen. Hausen. Hausen? Danhausen? Hausen? Sounds German to me. He's where he's billed from says someplace far away. Okay. I know he's from Detroit. Oh, it's a CM Punk played key role in Danhausen joining WWE. That tracks. Isn't it very good, very evil? What is very nice, very evil. Okay. Very nice, very evil. I love him. He's becoming one of my favorites. Okay, and then we had the men's elimination chamber match, the last match. And we had Randy Orton, LA Knight, Cody Rhodes, Javon Evans, Trick Williams, and Logan Paul. Now, I wasn't thrilled about Logan Paul. Trust and believe I was not thrilled about Logan Paul. I almost forgot. Y'all, I'm not even gonna lie. I forgot about what happened during this, and I'm reading my notes, and I remember what happened. Holy shit. Anyways, so the order I was like, okay, what do we think Drew is getting involved? Yes. Trick Williams came out first, LA Knight. They were climbing that cage. It was crazy. Logan Paul, Randy, and Cody and Javon started off. I was interested. I was like, oh, Javon. He's just like, I'm nervous. And I was like, I love it. And he was like going on top of every pod. He was like kind of going off. And the ref was kind of like rushing him, which like I get it. Um, well, not LA Knights or Tricks. And then Cody came out. They did a fist bump. I loved that. He also said, let's go. Trick Williams was the first one out. Cody was just kind of watching. And the immediate booze when Logan came out, I loved it. And then they all started attacking Logan. I was like, I love it. Get his ass. I do not like Logan. Sorry, have we forgotten about Suicide Forest? Could he be a good person now? Yes. Will I always hate this man? Also, yes. Sorry. There's no going back from that for me. Anyways, LA Knight came out, which mean Randy was the last. Um, Javon was just kind of laying on top of the pod. It's like I still love the hate for Logan. Um, Logan then eliminated Javon, LA Knight, and Trick. Trick. Oh my god. I couldn't remember his name for a second. I was like, who did he? Anyways, and Logan Paul. Paul Heyman's off at this time, like, yeah, he's winning it all. He's winning it all. Anyways, um, I said, I swear to God, if he wins, and Paul Heyman would not shut up, so I said, Heyman, shut the fuck up. Logan was getting all these eliminations, and I was like, oh my god, hi, Masked Man. It was not the actual one. And then another masked person showed up. I was like, what the hell? Logan got out by Cody. Guy takes off his mask. Who the fuck is it? Seth Rollins. I was like, what the fuck is Seth Rollins doing here? I thought he was still going to be out for a minute with his, because he had a rotator cuff injury. He was like, yeah. And then I saw an interview. He's like, yeah, I don't need to use my upper body or my arms for my signature move. I was like, okay, he got a point. He got a point. He got a point with that stomp. Anyways, so it was Seth. And then it was Cody versus Randy. And then Drew came out, attacked Cody. Randy RKO'd Drew. Oh my gosh. Randy RKO'd Drew. Cody did Crossroads. And then Randy RKO'd Cody and Randy won. So Randy is facing. Actually, pause. At the end, I was watching the post show on YouTube, the post show for Elimination Chamber. Nick Aldis came out and told us Cody and Drew were happening, which was now a couple days ago. As of me recording this, a couple days ago was Friday Night SmackDown. It was Cody and Drew that Friday for the championship. So as of that moment, we did not know who Randy was going to face. But I will tell you that next episode because I am all done with this episode. I know I'm leaving y'all on a cliffhanger, kind of. At least if you watched, you know. But for those who don't know, it's a cliffhanger for y'all. I'm so sorry. Anyways, it was good. I'm so happy AJ Lee won her title. I'm so happy she won the title. I'm so excited. Anyways, but yes, that's the end of this everything. Next week's video will be of Raw 3-2 and SmackDown 3-6. So I hope you all enjoyed. Yeah, I will be back for the next video and I will see you guys then. Bye.